here. I'm back with another video. In today's video, we are going to be going over my February week 1 budget. Typically when I do my budget videos, just start out overhead. I don't film a proper introduction, but I realized that I've gotten quite a few new subscribers thanks to my budgeting series here on my channel. And I thought I would just show you guys who maybe haven't seen my other videos, my face, introduce myself. My name's Jessie. We do all sorts of fun content here on my YouTube channel. In addition to budgeting videos every week, I post grocery hauls, I post vlog style content. I occasionally get on here and show you meal ideas, dinner ideas. We do meal planning here. I haven't done so in a while, but I plan to get back to things like cleaning videos. Essentially, it's all about lifestyle stuff. So the day-to-day things that keep life going. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 boys who are older boys now. I've got a 17-year-old son who is a junior in high school, and I also have a 12-year-old son who is in 6th grade. My husband works full-time outside the home. I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom, and this channel is all about what I do on a day-to-day basis to keep the household running. So I hope that you will consider subscribing if you are interested in more than just budgeting. I would love to have you here on my channel. But yeah, I don't want to make this too long. I want to get right into the numbers. Know that when I sit down and I show you my budget this week, there's already been some transactions happening. I'm filming my budget video a little bit later in the week this week, so you guys are going to see that I've already paid some bills, I've already pulled some money out, and I'll kind of go through that with you guys in the overhead shot. But it might look a little bit different this week than it has in weeks past, but hopefully you'll still find it super, super helpful. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Let's get into the budget. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and get into my budget. So I have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. I have my Budget by Paycheck Workbook, which I have printed and punched and put into my big size Happy Planner. I always like to go over that first thing so that you guys know what book I'm working in here. I have all of my cash that I have pulled out of the bank for my cash envelopes as well as my sinking funds. I have my little pen here. I am using a Parkoo Eraseable pen today. I really, really like these. I also have my wallet, and I have my accordion folder where I keep my sinking funds. But I thought before I get too far into my budget this week, I would show you guys something new. I thought I'd talk to you guys about what I do with my change. So not necessarily every week, but whenever I notice that my wallet is getting heavy, I tend to go ahead and pull out all my change. So this is my wallet. It's just a Tahari wallet that I got from TJ Maxx, and inside here is where I keep trying not to show you guys any personal information here, but in here is where I keep all of my cash envelopes that I spend from every single week. And I keep all of my little receipts in here as well. And in the center pocket here, which I know I'm not doing a great job of showing you guys, whenever I spend my cash, I just throw all the change together in here. I don't worry about keeping my change separated by category because I don't typically spend my change. If I have a total at a store for, $5.20, I might fish through here and pull out a couple of dimes, but for the most part, I just keep all of my change, and then whenever my wallet gets too heavy, I put them in these jars that I have here at home. These are just basic mason jars. I keep my silver separated from my pennies, and whenever my wallet gets full, I just go through and sort the change into the jars. When these jars are full, I will most likely take them to my bank and turn them into cash, which will then either go to savings or it will go to debt or whatever it may be. But that is how I deal with change. whenever I was first starting out with cash envelopes, I always kind of wondered what people did with their change, so I thought that I would share that process with you guys. I know it's not like super interesting or anything, but just in case you were curious how I deal with change, this is how. I don't typically spend it. Like I said, if I need a quarter or something, I will fish through my wallet. I'm not like anal about saving every single dime, but when my wallet gets heavy, and it does tend to get heavy because change is heavy, this is what I do. I just go through before I start my budget, sort out all my coins, and then this goes into my safe for safekeeping. So that is my change, and now we will go into our typical budget. So I said in my introduction that we are already pretty far into the week budget-wise. Today is Thursday. We got paid on Tuesday, and as you may be able to see here, I have had quite a few of my bills already come out. So the way that I do my budget is I write down the budgeted amounts here in the budget category, and then as the bills come out, as I pay things, I write down their actual amounts. I think that's pretty typical of anyone's budget. So this is a good time to illustrate how that works. So for the most part, everything is about what I planned for it to be, which is great. You always want your actual numbers to be either the same or less than what you budgeted, right? So we're on track with that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and talk about, this is my February 4th budget. So this is the first budget in February, and we've got about $1,600 to work with this week. I left this open so that I could show you guys a little bit of what happened this week with our finances. I didn't obviously include our paycheck information because I don't include that. That's, you know, my own business. But I did want to show you what some of these other things we had listed as income were. So, for one, I took my campground sinking fund and we deposited it into the bank. So up until this point, I had been keeping my campground sinking fund here in my accordion folder with the rest of my sinking funds to pay for our annual site on our campground where we keep our camper. But this week what we decided to do was actually go ahead and pay that off, pay the yearly annual fee, and we did that by using a credit card that we currently have, I think, 18 months interest free on. And we did this just to make things a little bit easier, to not have to have so much cash at home and to not have to worry about calling and making that payment once a month, because the way that our campground does things is old school. You can't pay online, and it's just, they're only open during certain hours, so you have to call during business hours and make the payment. And it's just kind of a pain. So we decided just to go ahead and pay it all at once, and then rather than sticking our campground money into an envelope every week, we will just pay that to the interest-free credit card. We will earn rewards that way, and we will definitely have that paid off by the time the interest kicks in 18 months. No problem whatsoever. So we went ahead and took what we had saved for our campground sinking fund, which was the $360, and we included that as income here because it's going to go out to go towards that credit card payment. And so we wanted to make sure that we reflected it as income and then again as outgoing, just so that I could keep track of where that money went. We also had some cash. My son requested that I buy him something on Amazon and he would give me the cash for it, so we put that on, there was one thing at Walmart and one thing at Amazon. So we put that on our cards, and then he gave us the cash. So we just deposited that cash, and then we will turn around and make those payments directly to those cards. So that is part of the $1,600 we're working with. We also have rollover money from last week, as well as our paycheck and all our various other income situations. I've talked to you guys about where our income comes from before. So now we will go ahead and move right into our bills. So let me zoom this in a little bit more. Here we go. So our regular bills, the bills that were actually due this week, are here. And I sort of separated things by a line here so that I could explain it to you guys a little bit better. So we had our Netflix, which was $15.99. You can see I budgeted $15.99, and that $15.99 has already come out of our account because that has been paid. We have a Capital One bill due that has not come out yet, so you see the budgeted amount, but you do not see the actual amount. I will write that in once it actually comes out of our bank account. Then we have our mortgage, and then we have my Kohl's card. I had made a purchase on it, and I just wanted to pay that off right away. That's what we do. We do have some credit cards that carry balances month to month that we are working on paying off, but we also have cards that we use and pay off immediately, just for the rewards or for the discounts or whatever it may be. Kohl's is one of those that we use and then pay off immediately. So hopefully that makes sense. And then we move into our weekly expenses and then a few other little odds and ends, which I'll talk about now. So we have our groceries. I set aside $150 this week because we had some things that I knew that I wanted to get. My typical budget is $100, but I have told you guys before that I occasionally will bump it up to like $150-ish if I know we have a lot of meat that we want to buy, or if we just know that there's a lot of stuff that we need to get. So I did bump it up this week. I've already done my grocery shopping. You guys will have seen that grocery haul yesterday on my channel, and I spent $151.96. So you can see I am a little bit over budget in my grocery category, but if you look up here at Kohl's, I budgeted $11 and I only had to pay $10.50, so it sort of evens out that way. I also have a buffer in my account, so if I'm a little tiny bit over budget, it's not that big of a deal. For gas, we budgeted $50. We haven't gotten gas yet. My household expenses, I have bumped that up from $20 to $30. I talked to you guys about that last week. That came out no problem. I put in an unbudgeted category this week. Obviously, I don't budget anything for unbudgeted, but this is just where I will write down anything that we spend that I didn't initially budget for. I thought this would be a good idea to try this out in my budget, so I did include that this week. And then here are the expenses. Essentially, this is taking the money that I put into my account here in income and turning around and putting it out. So for our campground, we aim to send $60 a week to our campground fund. So what I did was I sent the $360 that was already in my sinking fund envelope plus an additional $60 to make it $420. And that has already been paid. That worked out great, and now I don't have to have that large amount of cash in my envelope, and you know, it's a lot easier to make that payment to the credit card rather than trying to call and pay the company every month. I hope that makes sense why we did it that way. And then we have the items that I purchased for my son. He wanted to spend $30 at Walmart and then $15 at Amazon, and so he just essentially reimbursed us for those purchases. So these bills are a little bit higher this week, but you guys can see it's not all like weekly bills. We budget week to week, paycheck to paycheck, hence the need for the Budget by Paycheck workbook. So these are just the bills that were this week. This is not all of my monthly bills. I've gotten some questions and some confusion about that. This is just the bills that we needed to focus on for this pay period. So we took that $1,600 that we had originally, we subtracted all of these bills, which came out to $1,091.99, and that leaves us with $508 to work with for the next category, which are our cash envelopes. So for cash envelopes this week, it's pretty basic, pretty much the same thing we've been doing. Miscellaneous spending is going to get a $20. My husband will get $50 for his spending money. I'm going to take $20 for my spending money. And then eating out, we're going to do $60 this week. Last week we did not take any eating out money because we were a little bit short. We had other priorities that we wanted to address with last week's paycheck, so we bumped it up a little bit this week. I think my husband and I are going to do a date night, so we took $60 this week. and that is a total of $150. You guys will see me stuff those cash envelopes in just a moment here, but that leaves us with $351.01 to work with, and that's what we took over here to our little sinking fund category. So we are funding quite a few more sinking funds this week than we did last week. You guys saw the only thing we funded last week was our campground. Sometimes we do that. It just depends on what our goals are for the week. So this week we are focusing on Amazon Prime, our card tags and maintenance, Christmas gifts, holidays, our hunting category, property taxes, school expenses, and vacation. You guys will see me stuff these as well. Our snowball is currently sitting at $54. You can see here I actually paid $55. I just like even numbers. Obviously 54 is an even number, but I like 55 is a good round number, you know what I'm saying? So I paid that to the credit card that we are currently working on, and that leaves us with $149.01 of our income total, and then that takes us to savings. So we are now moving on to our February savings challenges. I am part of the Budget Mom monthly savings challenge course. I paid $10 to get access to all of the savings challenges and all of the printables and things that go along with it. I don't share that here on my channel because it is a paid course, and if I show it to you guys, then you know what the savings challenges are, and the Budget Mom doesn't make any money that way. So if you are interested in the savings challenges, you can go to the Budget Mom website and sign up for her courses. That's also where you can get the Budget by Paycheck workbook that I work in. I love this. This is a huge resource for me. It really helps to keep me organized. So for our February savings challenges, I'm saving $49 this week. And for my Savopoly, I'm saving $17 this week. Savopoly is another fun savings challenge. It is a printable that I purchased. I can show it to you guys. I haven't shown that here on my channel in a minute, so let me just find it. Here it is. Savopoly is this cute little printable. You roll a dice, and what I do is actually just use a app here on my phone called Dice Roller. I don't know if you guys could see that, but it looks like this. And you just choose how many dice, whatever you want to roll, and then you can roll those dice and use those for moving around the Savopoly board. This past week was the 4th when I got paid, so I rolled a 10. I went around the board and landed on $17, and that is what I saved for this week. So hopefully that gives you guys a better idea what I'm talking about when I say it's my Savopoly fund. Let's get back to where we were here. So that was $17. And I need to zoom back in. Sorry guys, this is a little awkward. I'm still trying to get used to filming these budget videos. So $17 for Savopoly, $49 for February savings. That's $66. And when you subtract that from the $149.01 that I had left, it leaves us with $83.01 to roll over to next week. My husband gets paid every single week, but he is paid based on commission, so he doesn't have a consistent paycheck every single week. It's not exactly the same every week. So the way that we make sure that we always have enough to cover our bills is to do our budget and then roll things over week to week to week to week. So hopefully that makes sense. This obviously also is the $1,600 we started with is a number that we not estimate, but we round. So we always round our income down and we round our expenses up. This week we didn't really round our expenses up because I knew we'd be covered with what we had, but that way we always come out without being over budget. Does that make sense? I feel like I stammered my way through that, but hopefully that made sense. So that is it for my budget overview. I took what we needed to pull out in cash, which is our cash envelopes, our sinking funds, and our extra savings. I wrote all of those categories down here, as well as the amount we wanted to save. I figured up our denominations using this cash envelope breakdown. Let me know if you guys would like to see me do this in real time to get you a better idea of how this works. I'd be happy to do that. But essentially, I got my total, 371. I got the denominations that I needed, and then I went to the bank and picked up the cash. And now we can stuff our cash envelopes, which is my favorite part. So let me get that set up. I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, so we are starting out with stuffing our cash envelopes. I have my planner off to the side so that I can look and see what I have planned to put in each category. I'm going to go into my wallet here and pull out my cash envelopes. We're going to be working with those first. These are the envelopes that I keep in my wallet, and we spend from all week. This is just the cash that we use for our basic everyday expenses. So this is my eating out money. This is my spending money. My husband does not use an envelope like this. He just sticks the cash in his wallet. I've already given him his cash, so you will not see that. But we have my spending and then miscellaneous spending, which is just anything that is not necessarily in one of these other categories that we need to spend cash for. So these are the 3 envelopes that I use consistently every day. I keep them right in my wallet. If we are eating out, I pull the money from the eating out envelope. When that money's gone, we don't do any more eating out for the week until we fill our envelopes. So hopefully that made sense. So I have miscellaneous, eating out, and spending. For my spending, I always give myself just a $20 bill, so we're going to do that. I don't take as much cash for spending as my husband does because I'm home all the time. The only time I really do any spending is if I'm out and about picking up groceries or whatever. I don't find that I need a bunch of spending money. My husband likes to have a little bit more, and that's fine. He works every day. He's out and about all the time. So it just makes sense to us for him to get a little bit more. So that's $20 in my spending. Miscellaneous also gets $20. You can see I have a little bit of money left in my miscellaneous envelope that I just didn't spend last week. So I'm going to set this aside. I have a little section here in my accordion folder in our sinking funds that I keep extra cash in. We dip into it a lot. It's not set aside for anything specific, just if we need extra cash for something. So that's going to go there for that. And I'm going to pull out another 20 for our miscellaneous funds. And lastly is our eating out money. You can see this guy is empty. We didn't do any eating out last week, so we are definitely ready for a nice meal out. I think my husband and I are going to go to Red Lobster this weekend. So pulled aside our $60 for eating out money. And that goes right in there. These will go back into my wallet, and we will spend from these categories as we see fit. I don't do my household, I don't do my gas, anything like that in cash. I like to use my debit card for those things, but I do like to have these categories in cash. It's what works for us. So that is that, and now we are going to move on to our sinking funds. I keep our sinking funds in cash in this little accordion folder. I love this because it opens up nice and wide and it stands up on its own, so I don't have to worry about this falling over 500 times while I'm trying to fill our various categories. So I'm gonna try my best to do this so that you guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing. In the past weeks I've had a bit of a harder time with this, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and stuff our sinking funds. So the first sinking fund we are working with is Amazon Prime. Our Amazon Prime membership is due in March. It costs $120. We currently have $59 in the sinking fund, so we are pretty much on track with that. We're gonna add $15 to this fund today. So today is I don't even know what day it is. Do you guys have this problem, or is it just me where you just don't know what day it is ever? I know what day it is. I know that it's Thursday, but I don't know the date. February 6th. Here we go. So we just write 2/6 on here. We're going to add $15 to this fund this week. And so I'll go into my little stack of cash here and pull out a 10 and a 5. And that will get added right to our Amazon Prime fund. I always like to count it every week so that I know that I am on track, that I didn't miscount anything, that I added what I needed to add. So this should be $74 in here if I did my math right. I'm not the best at math. 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. My math was right. So we have $74 in our Amazon Prime fund. This will go right back in behind the Amazon Prime tab here. And that is how I keep track of my sinking funds. Next up, we have car tags and maintenance. So this is for our yearly, registration, our car tags, and also any maintenance. So if we have oil changes or if we get a flat tire or anything like that, that all comes out of this fund. Let me try to zoom this in a little bit more. So we currently have $84. You can see last week I took out $30 for an oil change. So that took us down from $114 to $84, which is fine. That is what that fund is there for. I love having that money when we need it. It's great. I love it. And that's the great thing about sinking funds is it's security. You know, you always have what you need when you need it this way. So this week we are going to add $25 to our fund. So I'm going to pull that from here. We have a 20 and a 5. And then we'll just count this up and make sure again that we have what we need. 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 109. And 84 plus 25 is 109. So that means I did my math correctly. And we will stick that right behind car tags again. So we're just going to continue to go down the list, filling the sinking funds as we go. So next we have Christmas and gifts that I have in this super cute little envelope from The Budget Mom. You can get envelope printables like this on thebudgetmom.com. You can also order physical cash envelopes and she will mail them to you if that's the way you want to do it. So I highly recommend The Budget Mom for lots of budgeting resources. You can see we currently have $150 in our Christmas fund, and you guys, it's just November. So if you're not saving for Christmas yet, I highly recommend that you do that because it happens every single year and you don't want to be caught off guard. We're going to add $30 to that account. And that should bring us up to 180. I'm just going to pull it out. And again, count it, make sure. Zoom you guys out a little bit. I have a hard time trying to figure out how far to zoom this in because I want you to see what I'm doing, but I don't want it to be so zoomed in that, you know, it's ridiculous. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. $180 for Christmas. Let me know if you guys enjoy the cash envelope part, if you like seeing me count out the money every week, or if I can just kind of edit this part out. These videos get super long. I don't know how long you guys want to sit here watch me talk about money and my budget. I can easily cut out some of this if it's too long and tedious. Just let me know what you like to see. Next up, we have holidays. So holidays are all of the major holidays that we celebrate that aren't Christmas. So this is where we keep our money for Easter, Valentine's Day, that sort of thing. We currently have $30 in our holiday fund. We're going to add another 20 today. So we are going to add 20, and that will give us a total of $50. We are currently saving for Easter. We've already done our Valentine's Day shopping. So 20, 40, $50 in there. Okay, next up we have hunting. My husband is a hunter. He does hunt for food, not for sport. I got a comment on one of my other videos about how disgusting it was that we're hunters and we're saving for that, but you know, that's just what we choose to do. You don't have to hunt. You don't have to like it, but that is what we are saving for. So we are going to add $10 to this fund. We had 40, so adding another 10 should give us $50. $20, $30, $35, $40, $41, $42, $43, $44, $45, $46, $47, $48, $49, $50. So this is for my husband's hunting license. It's for paying at the range to sight in his rifle. It is anything else that he needs, tags, any supplies, whatever. He goes hunting, you know, starting in October, so we have some time to continue to save up for this. So that is hunting. Next we have property taxes. Don't save a ton of money in that category, but it helps to have this when it comes time to pay those. So we are adding $10 to this fund, which we had $10 in it, so we will be up to 20. Every little bit helps. This adds up. You add a little bit to the fund every month or every week or however you want to do it. That's what I love about sinking funds and personal finance in general, is you can do it however it works for you. You don't have to stick to a certain set of rules. You just do what's best for your family and your life. Next up we have school expenses. So school expenses encompasses all of our back to school shopping. It covers any after school activities, anything like that, school dance tickets, anything related to school essentially. So we are going to add $25 to this fund, and that should leave us with $95. We like to take the kids in August to buy new school clothes, a new backpack, and this money all goes towards that. That's another one of those things, you know it's coming, you know every year your kids are going to need school clothes. Why not start saving for them now so that that's not such a financial burden to you right before school starts? So 20, 40, 60, 75, 80, 85, 90, $95 in our school expenses. And this fund has already come in handy. We've used this fund for soccer registration for my son. We've used it for school dance tickets, and it's been great to always have this. This is also where we will take money from for school photos. It's just a great fund to have. If you have kids that are school aged, I highly recommend a school expenses sinking fund. Next up we have vacation. So I mentioned earlier in the video, have a camper that sits on an annual campsite. So this vacation money is for our expenses when we go camping. We also have a trip to an indoor water park planned in August, so we're going to start beefing this vacation fund up slowly but surely. This week we are adding $20, but moving forward you may see this fund get a little bit more whenever we add money to it. So we're just adding 20 today, and that should give us a total of $100 saved so far. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that's great. Every little bit helps. And the last two categories are our savings categories, which are my monthly savings challenge and Savopoly. Now, the money in these two funds is not allocated for anything specific. This is money that we are just saving, whether it be for a rainy day, maybe we'll add it to our debt payoff, maybe we'll add it to our vacation fund if we need more money when we go on vacation. It's money that I'm saving, but without a specific goal in mind. So there's that. And I just find this a fun way to save a little bit of extra money. You know, and it's just makes it more fun, less tedious. So first we have Savopoly. In my Savopoly fund, I currently have $232. This week we are adding $17. So that is going to be 10, a 5, and 2 1s. I just like to organize my denominations here, and then we will count this up and make sure that it's all there. So we have 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 200, 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. So $249. And that is where I should be with my Savopoly fund. So this is all money that I'm saving without a specific goal in mind. That Savopoly is super fun, and I've saved quite a bit of money. I mean, quite a bit of money is relative, right? I guess it all depends on your income and what your goals are and everything, but that's quite a bit of money to save just for a rainy day, in my opinion. All right, and lastly, we have our February Savings Challenge. So again, this is the Budget Mom course. She has 2 savings challenges per month. One of the savings challenges is for you to pull money directly from your cash envelopes that you save in every week. If you're an all cash spender, she says take, you know, a certain amount of money out of your envelopes, and you would just pull from each envelope whatever you can to make up that amount of money. Because I only work with these 3 cash envelopes and I'm not putting a ton of money in here, I don't do that. I don't pull from my cash envelopes. I just take it directly out of my budget. You can really alter the savings challenges to work for you and do it any way that you want. So we're starting out with February Savings Challenge here. I completed my January Savings Challenge last week with a total of $58 for January. I kept my savings goal for January very conservative. I have upped it for February, so I'm hoping I'll be able to keep up with it and I'm not setting myself up for failure here. But for February savings, we are going to add $49, which is pretty close to the full amount that I saved last month. So like I said, hopefully I'm not shooting myself in the foot here with these larger goals, but 20, 40, 45, 40, oh, these bills are all sticking together. $20, $40, $45, $46, $47, $48, $49 is going to go into my February savings. And that is done. So that is all of my savings funds. I do have this $10 here that I pulled aside from my miscellaneous envelope that I'm going to stick in my extra category. I have an extra category here. Seems like every time I go to add money into this, I have depleted it the week before, but that's fine. That's what it's there for. It's just literally extra money. So anytime I need extra cash for anything, I can dip into this, no problem. I just don't like to keep it in my wallet, because if it's in my wallet, I will absolutely, definitely spend it. Whereas if it's just sitting here in my accordion folder locked in my safe, I have to actually make the decision to go in and get the cash. I don't just have it on hand and am driving past like a Tim Hortons and decide I want a cup of coffee. And that's the way that I keep from, you know, going through this super quickly. So that is going to go in the extra category. So that is it, you guys. That is my budget for the week. I hope that you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. You found it helpful. I've been loving sharing my budgeting series with you guys. You seem to really be enjoying it as well. I've had so many of you comment and tell me that you've started saving money or you've started a budget because you've been inspired by my videos. So that is the reason I continue to share these, just for inspiration, motivation, and it helps keep me accountable as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It really, really helps me to see that, so I know that you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. Leave me a comment down below and tell me how you're doing with your budget, or if you plan on starting a budget, what your financial goals are. I would love to hear from you. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to continue doing these budget videos every week for as long as you guys are enjoying them. So definitely make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss a single video. I will see you guys next time. Bye!